Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful Tuesday morning here in Louisville. We are off to a great week here in Louisville. Yesterday, we kicked off the week with a very important announcement. An announcement where we brought together leaders of JCPS and TARC and community leaders from across the city and Metro Council members, community leaders, to solve a critically pressing issue facing our city. And that's getting our kids to school on time and getting them to schools of their choice, to magnet schools, to academies of Louisville across the city. I'm so proud that everyone worked so hard over the past 6 weeks in good faith, overcoming obstacles, dealing with challenges, working with folks that historically they might not have worked with before to get this very important agreement done so that we have a solution for next year where more kids can get to their magnet schools, particularly kids that live in our most needy neighborhoods, that they'll have the opportunity to attend a magnet school of their choice. At the same time, this ensures that we do not have to lay off any of our hardworking TARC drivers that have worked so hard for TARC, for public transportation in Louisville, for our city, to ensure people can get to where they need. I just want to thank everyone involved again for making this happen, because even though I don't have any authority over JCPS, I couldn't stand on the sidelines when an issue like this arose, when we saw families across our entire city who were affected by the driver shortage, especially at a time when more drivers are going to be available because of the challenges that TARC is facing and the need to reduce the frequency of TARC routes. So I saw an opportunity and was so glad that the invited leaders joined us at our table right here in the conference room next door, together to find this short-term solution to support TARC, JCPS families, and to be committed to working on long-term solutions for every family, every child, every student across Louisville, and everyone who relies on TARC now and who may need TARC in the future. So that was a great way to start the week. And we're going to keep the good news rolling in our city this week. It was just recently announced by the governor, Governor Andy Beshear, that 2023 was the best year on record for tourism in our state. And that success was certainly seen right here in Louisville. Louisville had over a $4.2 billion economic impact thanks to the tourism industry here in Louisville. The state report says that helped sustain over 27,000 jobs in Louisville. And we know locally from our local Louisville Tourism Organization that we have 69,000 hospitality workers in our city. Tourism is an incredible part of our economy. It's an incredible part of our culture. It's an incredible part of our city. And we are continuing to invest in tourism. I want to thank Cleo Battle and the entire Louisville tourism team for their hard work in making this a reality. Cleo and I were just together yesterday, celebrating with leaders here in Louisville of the PGA Championship, who put on a wonderful event, and it was such a huge success here in Louisville, and it was a huge success across the country as well, as the TV ratings were up, and the eyes of the world were truly watching Louisville shine over the PGA Championship weekend. And we're planning for even better news ahead when it comes to tourism, as we just completed what we believe to be a record-shattering May here in Louisville, starting with the Kentucky Derby Festival events and the historic 150th Kentucky Derby, to the PGA Championship, concluding with Gazebo Festival, along with our great attractions that operate as well, and they were busy in May: Louisville Slugger Museum, the Ali Museum, the Kentucky Derby Museum, our bourbon scene and distilleries. I just checked a new one out last weekend, and more. We had a record-breaking May. We can't wait to soon release the numbers, and I know this momentum is going to continue. We are a world-class destination here in Louisville. We take a lot of pride in that, and we want more and more people to continue to visit our city, to live in our city, to invest in our city. Now, the great things that are happening in our city are not just for visitors. There are also great things going on for locals as well. Summer is a great time for families to get out and about and do and experience new things that they might not have experienced before across our great city. It's also a great time to be active. I know I love to run. Maybe in the summer it's more in the early morning, a little bit earlier than usual before it gets too hot. But there are so many events taking place in the coming days and weeks where families can get out, can be active, can enjoy our city, can see new parts of our city, and stay healthy as well. This past Saturday, we had the annual kickoff for our summer reading program and cultural pass. And those programs keep young people's minds active and engaged to help prevent summer learning loss and provide them with access to some of our great cultural institutions, art experiences, and learning opportunities that they might not otherwise have a chance to experience. And that's all summer long, free of charge. The Cultural Pass and our summer reading program at the Louisville Libraries are both amazing programs. And this weekend, we're hosting another fantastic event, and that's Cycluvia. This summer, this June, Cycluvia is right here in downtown Louisville on 4th Street. Of course, we'll have the long-standing Tom Owens Cycluvia on Bardstown Road later this fall. But the first Cycluvia of the year is going to be this weekend downtown on 4th Street. And so we encourage everyone to bring your bikes, bring your roller skates, your skateboards, your scooters, your strollers, your walking shoes, whatever your favorite means of non-motorized transportation is, this Sunday, June 9th, to downtown Louisville on 4th Street between 2 and 6 p.m. During that time, 4th Street from Main Street south to Broadway will be closed to motorized vehicles, allowing people and vendors to enjoy the amazing great 4th Street that we have this Sunday. There'll be a lot of activities along the way. There'll be inflatables, a balloon artist, food, live music, yoga classes, a fire truck, and much more. It's a great opportunity to come downtown, to visit 4th Street, and have some great outdoor active environment. There will be a way for cars to cross 4th Street at Market Street for those who are curious about that. So I look forward to seeing everyone this Sunday downtown on 4th Street between 2 and 6 in the afternoon this Sunday for our first Cycluvia event. Thank you so much to everyone from the Office of Planning and everyone else who helps make Cycluvia this and all of our Cycluvias possible. They are really fun, family-friendly events. So Mike, thanks to you and your entire team. Now, one of the reasons people like coming to Louisville and will continue to come to Louisville, one of the many reasons, is because Louisville is an inclusive city. A city where we celebrate each other's differences. We learn from each other's differences. We enjoy being around other people who are not just like ourselves. And here in Louisville, we believe that love is love. So I'm so excited that we are this year again beginning to celebrate Pride Month during the month of June. Across our city, fun events are going to be taking place all month long to celebrate Pride Month here in Louisville. From Big Bar's Pride Week kickoff celebration on June 9th to the Kentuckiana Pride Festival and Parade on Saturday, June 15th on the Big Lawn, there are so many great opportunities to get out and celebrate. And here in the mayor's office, we're celebrating too. We're going to all take part in the Pride Parade among other great events. But today, I'm proud to share that I've officially proclaimed June of 2024 as Pride Month here in Louisville. Where's Chris? I lost Chris. That's your cue, Chris. Come on up. Now, one of the great leaders that I want to introduce right now, one of our great city leaders who helps make Louisville so welcoming, inclusive, and full of love is my good friend, Chris Hartman. Chris is the executive director of the Fairness Campaign, and he has helped pass anti-discrimination LGBTQ+ ordinances here in Louisville and across 21 other places in Kentucky. He's been an advocate for the LGBTQ community in our city. He's been working to push back on harmful legislation across our state, across our country, and he's an outspoken leader at a time when our city, state, and country need people like Chris to continue to say what's on their mind. We are so fortunate to have dedicated leaders like Chris here in Louisville, standing up for neighbors across our entire city, across our entire state. He is a force to reckon with. He is a great friend. He's a great leader. And he had a great challenge to the city that I eagerly embraced last year when we were raising the pride flag out in front of Metro Hall during Pride Month. On the spot and without any notice to me, Chris raised a great question. Why don't we fly the pride flag all year long? It was a great question, and the answer was we should. And so, Chris, I am very proud that the pride flag continues to fly in front of Metro Hall, not just during June and Pride Month, but all year long. Chris, I'm proud today to present you with a Distinguished Citizen Proclamation, thanking you for all of your work across the city, across the state. Your outspoken, effective leadership has been such a benefit to our city and state. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I know you love being embarrassed.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Please.
Well, gosh, wow, I feel like I could make a few more challenges right now and get some good results. I'd like a hell of a Pride Month. Happy June, everybody. That's the challenge that I've got. Well, I really thank you. I'm truly humbled and honored. I thought I was just here to talk about how LGBTQ friendly this month is going to be, not just in Louisville, but all across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. If folks are unaware, there are 25 plus Pride festivals in the works from June all the way through the end of October in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Wherever you live, from Pikeville to Paducah, from Corbin to Augusta, Covington, Mount Sterling, everywhere in between, there are Pride festivals near you, wherever you live in Kentucky. You can find them at fairness.org/KYPride. You can volunteer with Fairness. And of course, Mr. Mayor mentioned the huge Pride Festival, the oldest one in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I was joking earlier, I said June has gotten a lot different for me over the past 15 years at Fairness. I didn't have much to do in June 2009, my first Pride at Fairness. There were only 2 Pride festivals at that point in time. And now, all across the Commonwealth, and the oldest one, Kentuckiana Pride Parade and Festival, coming up on Saturday, June the 15th. So many groups will be marching in the parade on that Saturday. If you don't have a group to march with, I invite you to come march with the Fairness Campaign, fairness.org/parade, where we will be celebrating a landmark year for Louisville and LGBTQ plus rights, the 25th anniversary of Louisville's original Fairness Ordinance. The first, yes, you can applaud, everybody should applaud that, the first in the state to protect LGBTQ folks from discrimination, the first to protect trans folks, among the first in the South. We were only number 23 in the United States to protect LGBTQ plus folks from discrimination. And as a point of pride, you can tell folks we beat New York City by 3 years to protect transgender folks. They had to update their ordinance a couple years later. And so I want to continue the celebrations of the silver anniversary of Louisville's Fairness Ordinance by presenting Mr. Mayor with our 25th anniversary lapel pin here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the ordinance. And I hope that folks will continue heading down to University of Louisville's Ekstrom Library, where Archives and Special Collections has an ongoing exhibit to celebrate that silver anniversary of the Fairness Ordinance down in the basement. We launched it about a month ago, but it's going to run through the end of the year, and they're going to have several activations throughout the year. So I encourage folks to come down for that. One last thing I'll say to celebrate Pride Month here in Louisville, the Fairness Campaign has partnered through the years with the Ann Braden Social Justice Institute at University of Louisville Library, as well as the National Park Service. We are finally plunking down Louisville's first LGBTQ historic marker this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. in St. James Court, where it intersects with Belgravia. We'll be marking Belgravia Court, where the Louisville Gay Liberation Front, one of the earliest LGBTQ rights movements in the South, was founded in 1970 at a house in Belgravia Court. So everyone is welcome to join the unveiling of that first LGBTQ historic marker in Louisville. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, so very much, and I hope everyone has an amazing Pride Month.
Thank you, Chris. I forgot also, that proclamation's for you. Here is the official Pride Month that you can share with all of your Fairness
We glossed
Campaign
right
colleagues.
over the Pride Month.
No, I said it, but I forgot to give it to you. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Take care,
Sorry.
Chris. That is just, as you can tell, all of the work that Chris and his colleagues have put in have really been wonderful for our city. And it's one of the reasons, I believe, that Louisville is such an amazing place to live year round. And that is being recognized nationwide. Just today, earlier today, U.S. News came out with the top 50 places to live in America. And Louisville was one of those places. I am not surprised. But our best days are just ahead of us. And one of the days, our best days ahead of us, is because our city government continues to attract wonderful people to join our administration who want to help work to make Louisville a safer, stronger, and healthier city. At the end of last month, we announced that Suzanne Wright, a longtime JCPS leader who most recently served as executive administrator under Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio, is joining our administration as Deputy Chief of Staff for Special Projects. Suzanne is a remarkable leader. She has a proven track record of overseeing major projects that produce results for our entire city. I'm thrilled, Suzanne, that you have agreed to join our team, and I know that Suzanne is going to fit in so well, working with everyone else in Louisville Metro government, moving our city in a new direction toward a safer, stronger, and healthier city. Suzanne, I'm so excited that you start on Monday, and thanks that you came early today so that we could formally announce you. And please, why don't you say a few words? We're so glad to have you as part of the team.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you, Mayor Greenberg. I am looking forward to working with you as well as your administration to move many projects forward. I know that many great things are happening here in the city of Louisville through the revitalization of downtown, as well as intentional initiatives such as the community care campus. So many great things are ahead. And again, I am looking forward to the opportunity to serve the citizens of Louisville and make it even a better city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you so much, Suzanne. We're excited for your first day on Monday. We're excited to get back to work today. But before we do that, I'm happy to take any questions from members of the media.
So ultimately, with the Scotty Scheffler arrest, we found that there was not enough evidence to back up the serious charges filed against Scheffler. I was wondering, how often do you believe LMPD files these kinds of charges without proper evidence to back them up?
I don't have the answer to that question in terms of, but I do know that charges do regularly change from what people are charged with at the scene to what ultimately happens once it gets into the judicial system and once the county attorney or the Commonwealth attorney and the courts get involved. My understanding is that charges very frequently change, but I don't have a specific answer for that.
We know MSD rates have been announced that those are going up. Representative Jared Ballman said he is working on a bill that would put MSD under the Kentucky Public Service Commission. Do you have any thoughts or response to that? He said that constituents were upset with increased rate hikes.
Yeah, I don't support that. We want to have local control over local institutions. And I don't like that rates are going up. Nobody likes when rates that are going up. We have significant challenges here in our community that MSD works every day to address in terms of dealing with our sewer system, stormwater, protecting our city against floods. They have been operating under a consent decree for many years and have made hundreds of millions of dollars of investments across our city so that more homes are protected from floods, so that our sewers work, and again, to deal with storm runoff as well. We are a challenging city. Just look at the way our city is changing. Just look at what the climate and environment is doing to our river. And we're more often seeing rising levels of our river and creeks and streams that impact flooding. So there's a lot of work to do in a river city like Louisville, and MSD has a lot of work to do. One of the issues that I know that MSD needs to continue to make a significant investment is in West Louisville, where there are still smells in certain parts of our city, particularly West Louisville, that are stemming from the sewers. We need to fix that. That is a very challenging process to fix that, to eliminate the odors that far too many of our residents are currently dealing with in West Louisville. There is a multi-year plan in place to make that happen. That takes money. That takes funding. And so when you're dealing with aging infrastructure like we have, we need a MSD that can fix challenges like that and continue to protect our city. But I think local folks are the ones that know what's best for our city in this situation, and I support the structure the way it currently is.
Yeah, I had another LMPD question. There have been at least two news stories in recently, the last couple of weeks, about major personnel issues. The officer who shot pepper balls at reporters in 2020 had been promoted. I think that was reported in the CJ. And then an appeals court ruling that police officers acted on bad information when they raided a home, put a child in handcuffs. As Louisville negotiates the consent decree with the DOJ, how do you sort of get community buy-in when we have these high-profile incidents of misconduct or issues with an LMPD, and then those officers remain on the force? Does that undermine your ability to sort of get the public on board with this reform effort?
Yeah, great question. So a few things. Both of those incidents that you referred to, those took place prior to my being mayor, prior to the police chief being the police chief. They took place several years ago. I think there are several things I'd like to say in response to your question. First, LMPD needs to do a better job of quickly resolving actions like this when they come. When there are investigations, when there is a need for counseling or discipline or some type of action, that should happen as soon as possible, as soon as immediately following the incident. Now, I know it might take a little, you need to do a thorough investigation. We need to deal with the facts and not just initial hearsay conversations. But we need to move quicker to do that. I know the chief is committed to that. In one of the cases that you mentioned, we were prevented for several years by a federal court from continuing our own local investigation. But we need to move with speed. That is only fair to those that are involved. And it's also a way, to your question, of how we build trust with the entire community. So that is one way. Another way takes time. And that's as we continue to recruit. We need 250 more LMPD officers. We want those officers to be on the streets, working with neighborhood leaders, working with business owners, working with people all across our entire community, interacting with them, getting to know them, building personal relationships to create that trust that can only come from personal relationships. It's not going to happen any other way other than officers getting to know our community. And so we're doing a lot more things. The chief has started programs like Conversations and Cuts, where officers go into barbershops. Police night, meet your beat officer nights, where we're in parking lots of Kroger's or other shopping centers. We get together with the community and LMPD. The Police Activity League, where youth and families can interact with police officers in a very friendly setting to have conversations and to build those relationships. That needs to continue, and that will continue. And what I would say to every member of LMPD, to every hardworking officer who is working every day of the year so that all of us are safe, to protect us, to prevent acts of gun violence from happening and then responding when they do. I and my administration will continue to support you. We have just signed an agreement to give significant, probably historic raises to LMPD to attract more great individuals to join our police department. We've just opened recently a world-class, leading, best-in-class wellness center to support your physical, your emotional, your mental health and well-being. We will continue to invest in the resources that you need. Everyone on LMPD has an incredibly difficult job. Every day of the week, it is difficult. There's danger involved. There are huge expectations. And certainly the eyes of our city are watching. I also say to every officer, in exchange for that support, we need you to help us help you and understand all of those things. And so as you're out there working to keep us all safe, keep all of the history in the back of your mind, understand what your actions may have consequences. We will support you, but we also, when things don't go according to policy, when things aren't done correctly, we are going to respond. The chief and I and through the official processes, we will have to respond. We will have to impose discipline, and we will have to hold people accountability. To me, trust is built on accountability. And so that is what the chief and I are committed to doing. But I want to thank everyone of the LMPD, because the folks that we're hiring now, the folks that are going through the training that we have recently implemented, it is very different. It is a different department, and it will continue to be a different department as we recruit new people, as folks that have been on LMPD for a long time get more training. They will continue to have our support, but they also must all understand that everybody has to be held accountable. Just as I'm held accountable for my decisions and my actions as mayor, every member of LMPD has that same responsibility.
Quick question for you on, mentioned some of the tourism numbers. Do you have any sense on where, I guess, we are in relation to last year? Like, are we on pace to, outpace what happened last year?
Yeah, May was such a record-breaking month that I don't have the full year-to-date numbers, but I do believe that May will be a record-breaking month for any month ever in Louisville's history from a hospitality industry perspective. And I think that sets us up well for the entirety of the year. We have a lot of great things still coming this year. There is the country's largest basketball tournament. Is a women's basketball tournament that happens in July here at the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center. The Kentucky International Convention Center will have nearly 20,000 young women basketball players here. That's a great event. We've got Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life coming this fall. There is so much that still is yet to happen this year that I think will shatter year records as well. But right now, I do know that May shattered all records.
With the TARC and JCPS kind of collaboration that's going on right now, I know that TARC drivers are able to keep their current benefits, which was a big sticking point for a lot of people going over. Mm-hmm. How are they able to keep their benefits, and I guess who's contributing to that? Is it who's contributing to that? Is that JCPS that's going to be funding that, or?
Yeah, so just to clarify, so all of the TARC bus drivers that are driving for JCPS remain TARC employees. So there is a contract between JCPS and TARC, and JCPS is reimbursing TARC. And the formula for that reimbursement is that the TARC driver will be paid at JCPS hourly rates, which is pursuant to the same formula that's used to pay the JCPS bus drivers. And then on top of that is the health care and pension and other benefits that TARC drivers receive. So that dollar amount is figured out on a monthly basis, and JCPS reimburses TARC for that amount. So JCPS is paying for the full cost, but all the TARC drivers remain bus drivers. TARC drivers, TARC employees. All right, thank you all very much. Have a great week.